This is Making Waves, a series of podcasts celebrating and commemorating 25 years of Wave Community Bank.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Making Waves, the 25th anniversary celebration commemoration of Wave Community Bank. And I'm joined on this edition by the CEO of a credit union that has been working in Dublin, in Ireland, for many, many decades. I've got Dave McAuley from Donore Credit Union. Dave, good to have you along.
Thanks, Phil. Great to be here. I'm delighted to talk to you.
Just how vital are credit unions like yours to kind of everyday life in Ireland?
The Donore Credit Union is actually Ireland's oldest credit union. It was founded in 1958. At that time, it was set up to offset the challenge of money lenders. And since then, actually, we've had great success with that. Dealing with the illegal money lending problem during those decades. And here we are in 2025, and we're still as important every day to our community here and our members using on a daily basis. Small savings, loans. We offer loans for anything for, breaking down the fridge or the white goods, all the way through to mortgages. So this has become part and parcel of our members' lifestyles here and our members' financial needs over the years, and we've been very successful at it. And credit unions here, this credit union has been, a saviour for families and generations of families. And we're so well trusted now and respected that I suppose we're recognised as being a community asset as opposed to a financial service provider. So our members see us as being something that's vital to their families, to their own self empowerment, to the fact that they can create opportunities. And from our viewpoint, when we give a loan, we don't see a loan as a transaction. We recognise that every single loan, there's a person or a family behind it. So we meet people's needs in terms of holidays, education, ambition, needs, basic needs. So we cover full remit for our members, and we're part and parcel of their daily lives.
I mean, over here at Wave, we're obviously interested in how things are done elsewhere. What would you say are the biggest differences between Irish credit unions and those in the UK, whether that's in how you're set up, the services you offer, or even maybe how you're seen and perceived by the public?
I think taking it from the last one, how we're seen by the public, credit unions are a huge success here in Ireland. In our common bond here, we've got an almost 80% penetration rate of our common bonds. I mean that 80% of the people that live within less than a square mile or of the credit union here in our common bonds are the members of our credit union. There's 3.5 million people, members of the credit unions here in Ireland. And that's being built up, I suppose, over the generations through family, each family one at a time, through word of mouth, through different streets, neighbour helping neighbour. So the old common concept of that. So the profile of the Irish credit union movement is significantly larger than that of our UK colleagues. For the last 10 years, credit unions have been voted the number one brand here in the Republic of Ireland. So we're beating. The banks don't even feature in the top 50. We beat the likes of all your Amazons, your Googles, everything, and the credit unions have come out number one in that poll. Mm-hmm. And in the last 3 years, we've been recognised being the most reputable organisation in the country as well. So credit unions have a different profile. We also then, in terms of the individual credit unions, because we're part and parcel of our strength, we're so trusted by our members that we have a lot of funds on deposit here. So we can offer loans across a multitude of different products, all the way from very, very small loans, personal microcredit loans, people on social welfare, all the way through to full mortgages. And we do that even as a smaller credit union. And that's a big difference between ourselves and the UK. A lot of credit unions now offer current accounts. Our services have really broadly expanded. And some of the things we do, we offer like financial literacy programs, budget accounts, Christmas clubs, basic stuff like that will help our members basically manage their finances on a day-to-day basis. So the profile, I think, is the biggest difference. The profile and the name recognition for credit unions in Ireland, everybody knows what a credit union is, as opposed to the UK where the penetration rates are significantly lower.
In terms of kind of regulation and legislation, would you say that the actual environment in Ireland has helped the credit union sector thrive, or has it actually made life maybe a bit more difficult in recent years?
It's listen, we're in favour of a strong regulation framework. We need to safeguard our member savings. We are financial institutions, and therefore strong regulation is significantly welcome. I think the regulatory environment probably no longer just is replicate or is what's identified with the size of the credit union movement. I think that there's some way to go. For instance, liquidity requirements are exceptionally high. We're much higher than the banks. Our regulatory reserve requirements are significantly higher. So there's just challenges that. A simple example would be that we would give, probably about 80% of Irish credit unions' money is actually on deposit, short-term facilities with Irish banks, which allows them to basically lend that money out, so in that way there has to be some sort of some sort of realignment. But things are progressing. The regulatory environment and particularly new legislation issued by the government has really welcomed that, and credit unions now can offer much more services. We can get into loan syndication. As I say, there's going to be a national credit union mortgage product to be launched in the next 12 months. We have the opportunity then of referring our members to other credit unions who don't offer a particular service that we do. So huge scope changes and legislative requirements have been implemented. And one of those is actually that, unlike in the UK, there is the opportunity now for Irish credit unions to actually have a credit union for credit unions. So effectively, we would have a corporate credit union. So that would be a significant change in how we do business going forward, and potentially a significant enabler for credit unions into the future.
I'm interested to know, because we're always interested in kind of picking up little tips from you. Is there any new ideas or any ways of working that you're actually particularly proud of at Donore? Things you think that maybe UK credit unions like Wave could actually learn or take inspiration from?
I think the whole structured strategic collaboration approach, I think that's the way to go. Individually, credit unions have tended to operate in silos. We've tended to take on board a lot of the costs or the services that we think our members want, and that's been a big inhibitor for us. So Donore now is one of a group of credit unions that are basically looking at opportunities for collaboration. And the collaboration provides with that scale and the economies of scale needed, where we collaborate and remove some of our back office costs, some of our duplication and the hemorrhaging of monies and outflows and overheads that we had. And that's a great opportunity. And then also provides us simple, upsides, such as just looking to each other for our own expertise. Somebody may be a subject matter expertise in one credit union that can provide a service to us to actually do that. That's all in the context of a structured collaboration, and cooperatives. Cooperation amongst cooperatives is a saying, but does it ever really be put into practice? By putting it into a structured collaborative framework, you can actually deliver that. So I think that's an exciting, real opportunity for the Irish credit union sector. We're fully engaged with this. We think there's tremendous upside for us as a credit union. It means we retain our independence and our identity and our autonomy within our own member set. So this is very much a bottoms-up solution, and it won't be a top-down centralized, diktat of here's where things are going. So this is a tremendous opportunity. I think the UK could really, really scale up that through local initiatives. Let's say for Wave, down the south coast. Just getting together with a couple of other credit unions and actually having, a radio ad, for instance, across a number of counties or whatever you guys have there, and just basically, being able to push the name, the story, and the testimonials of what credit unions are really all about. So I think that's a real positive we're seeing now at the moment from the Irish credit union sector. There are a number of other ones.
You've mentioned there a number of opportunities that are coming up. What do you see as the biggest challenges for Irish credit unions over the next few years?
I think there's obviously the growth of fintechs, the digitalization, the advancements that's been made in AI and cybersecurity. I think that'll put strain on credit unions in terms of our IT spend and recognizing and safeguarding our members' savings against those threats. Also, new entrants to the sector. Here in Ireland we have, for instance, Revolut, who have basically made instantaneous payments, a reality, and are very well received by particularly younger people. So the challenge then is how can we, in an environment where there's a lot of noise, a lot of competing interests, how can we differentiate and propose our unique selling points as credit unions to remain relevant or become relevant to younger people? So a couple of challenges there. I think the how we can overcome that certainly is by actually embracing our difference. Spotting that we're not about transactions, we're about people, and owning that message. And sometimes you have to accept that you can't be the next great fintech or the next big. They're in that space. They're top quality in that space, and the proposition that we offer is somewhat different. And there is a place for that proposition. There is a place for that personalized service. And personalized service doesn't necessarily mean face to face. Personalized service can be over the phone. Personalized service can be through email or through text. But I think people understand that the credit union can remain should be convenient. Credit union branches are still a positive. Um, a localized service. Somebody who you can being approachable, I suppose, is a great unique selling point for us. And somewhere you get a hearing, and somewhere you're listened to. So it reminds you of the old Little Britain thing. The computer says no, but we certainly don't want to conform to that one, And I think we have something that's really, really positive here, and we should amplify it rather than reduce it.
Yeah. How long have you been with Donore, and what keeps you coming back day in, day out?
Oh, okay. So by default, I fell into this role as CEO back in 2016.
Okay.
My job initially was to come in and actually close the credit union down. So I spectacularly failed,
Right.
which I'm delighted for. But I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. I simply asked the question, why do you want to close this place down? And credit unions have boards that are volunteer led, and sometimes a bit of apathy steps in, a lot of regulatory change were coming in, a lot of regulatory imposition, and that volunteer time was becoming very, very difficult for those volunteers. And they gave me the honest reply, we don't want to close the place down. So we said, okay, let's put together a plan. And we did that, and it's been an upside ever since. So what I come back every day, very early in my credit union career, I'm an accountant. I worked on a lot of IFSC, big financial companies. And what you realize, some days when you go into those places is that it's a lot of zeros. There's a lot of numbers, and they don't mean a whole lot. And what I found from the day one I came to a credit union was that I actually made a real difference in people's lives, and it makes you feel good about yourself. So in terms of the role here, it's professionally speaking, it suits my needs. Financially speaking, yes, I would probably get more paid elsewhere. But your sense of self-worth, the fact that you're doing some good, and the fact that you're having a clear impact on not just members' lives, but here in the North, we actually aim to have a clear impact on our community's lives as well, and make the community space a better place. So the ambition here is to broaden our impacts, and we actually did a social impact study back in 2020. We were the very first credit union in Ireland, and when that kind of is released, and the answers you get back, and the value that you see being created for the community is it's uplifting and very motivating. And the end result of that, in terms of numeric value, was that for every €1 that was put into the credit union, there was a €10 impact on the local community here. So that sense of worth, that sense of actually making a positive contribution, and I think there's still more to do. We're actually a smaller credit union in terms of Irish credit unions. But we're a smaller credit union with a big loud voice. Maybe that's my voice. I don't know, but we have a presence, and we make a huge impact on our members' lives every day, our community's lives, and through stuff like this new structured collaboration where we've initiated, through stuff like development of sustainable community initiatives, We think the credit union has a lot more to offer and a lot more to do. And sustainable communities, for instance, is about using the credit union as the kind of an anchor or the glue by which other community organisations can coalesce around and make the environmental and societal improvements in their community that are needed. And the credit union is the ideal vehicle to do that because we're financially sound. We have good governance and financial controls in place. We have, structure, and most importantly, we have the trust of our members and we have the trust of the community. So I think there's great opportunity. So I think there's the credit union sector is evolving here in Ireland. It's growing. We're going to recalibrate the discussion between whether we're financial institutions or we're social enterprises. I think we need to, rebalance that discussion out back to being emphasising our social impact. But those items on a personal and professional level drive me on. They're great motivators. And I take great pride in what we've achieved here. When we came in to close the place down, I'm delighted to say now we've increased our loan book threefold since I came in. Our membership is still growing organically year on year. So it's been an upwards trajectory since 2016. So next year, that'll be 10 years. Well, probably time for me to go down. But it's an achievement, and it's well worthwhile, and we've become a little bit of an inspiration for other credit unions. I'm delighted to say we're colleagues in the UK who would similar to us in terms of size and scale look to us, hence I'm on a call like this.
Mm-hmm.
Colleagues even across the world are saying how does Donore do it, and our catchphrase here is simply do more with Donore. So
Brilliant.
Do more with Donore. So we don't regard ourselves as being a financial service provider. We actually regard ourselves as being people empowerers. So we're about empowering our members. So when we say do more with Donore, it's a mindset and an attitude that people, by using the credit union, can actually empower themselves and then by extension their community.
Great. Brilliant. For your 10th anniversary next year, you could do a series of podcasts, maybe. Just kind of throwing that one out there. Dave McAuley, CEO from Donore, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you.
Making Waves is produced by and on behalf of Wave Community Bank. For more details, visit our website on www.wavecb.org.uk.